Welcome back to another episode of me showing you shit. I really enjoy doing this. I just love talking about movies and showing my stuff, so I'm gonna continue. I am in the future. I'm starting to come up with some ideas of some different stuff to do, but for now, I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing, and I'm gonna get right into it today because I have two horror movies that I watched. I didn't have a whole lot of time to watch in the last day or two. I've been really busy around here with new puppy basically. So I only had time to watch two movies, so I'm also going to include my favorite TV show of all time. But I'm going to knock the movies off first. So my first movie, this is from Kino Lorber. This is Tarantulas, the Deadly Cargo. This is a 1977 made-for-television movie from Kino. It started out, no reversible art. It's just Blu-ray as well. It started out with Tom Atkins basically buying a bunch of coffee beans from Mexico, and he illegally flies his plane out of there back into the United States and crashes because he gets bit by a massive tarantula. Crashes his plane in this town and lets go like 1,000 tarantulas on this town. And it was surprisingly graphic for a TV movie in the 70s. Like, it has a little kid get killed by a spider. Just a lot of creepy spider movies. Like, it's not the greatest. It feels like a made-for-television movie, but it was still fun. Like, I still enjoyed it. If you like spider films, this is definitely a watcher. It's also got Pat Hingle, and a couple other familiar faces, but nobody of like real noteworthy. But yeah, I just picked this up. It was only like $18 or something, so I was like, yeah, I'll give this a watch. Tarantulas, the Deadly Cargo, fun little spider film from the 70s. Definitely give that a try. I would give it probably like a 2.5. But like, it's not great, but it's fun. And then my other one I watched is also from Kino. This is The Whip in the Body. Mario Bava here, starring Christopher Lee. 1963 this was. I don't believe it has reversible art here. Nope. This was a re-release. Kino put this out a few years ago, and it was like practically impossible to get, and then they just re-released it a couple of months ago, I want to say, and I grabbed it before it sold out, so it's still got the slip. If you grab it soon, you'll probably still get a slip cover. But this is a weird one. It's almost like a sex torture movie. It's Italian with English subtitles, or you can watch it in English with dubs. I didn't really know what to think of it, to be honest. It was like, it's really gothic castle type horror. Christopher Lee whips this woman who's married to someone else, and she like loves it but doesn't love it. Like, he whips her to the point where she's like bleeding in this movie, and then he suddenly dies. He gets killed, and she's still seeing him coming in her room at night and whipping her and stuff. And that's as much as I'll reveal, because there is some twists, and it kept me guessing to the end. I actually didn't know what was going on. So I enjoyed the storyline. I thought it was pretty well made. Okay acting, not great. It's a little bit cheesy. There's some moments that weren't so great, but like I would definitely recommend both of these. To me, they're both like a 2.5 to 3-ish area. But I mean, they're decent. Like Kino Lorber, I don't have a lot of complaints with them as a company. I usually get what I'm looking for when I watch their stuff. And then my big TV show. This is my favorite show of all time, and it will be. I can promise you, it will be for the rest of my life. I was absolutely obsessed with this show. It is Game of Thrones from HBO. I have the 4K collection here. I have more stuff too that I'll show you. But this 4K collection is very nice indeed. It comes with shit tons of special features. This front slips off here. And then you have the same artwork underneath, but it also has all 8 seasons here, and the bonus disc, or like a whole entire, I think there's 3 discs of special bonus features. It's absolutely nuts. This 4K collection is perfect. Honestly, like when I watch this show, I watch this collection. But this is the collection that looks just beautiful. This is a Blu-ray collection of Game of Thrones. This is like the special edition. This thing is a beast. It weighs probably 10 pounds. Yeah, about 10 pounds probably. It's freaking nuts. But look at the artwork on this thing. It is absolutely phenomenal stuff here. The nicest box set in my collection, for sure. This is a beast. Got the top there. And then, like, I'm going to have to do a little spinneroonie thing here because I can't really see myself. So, I'm going to show it off and then I'll talk about the show. So, it has the Hand of the King pin that holds the strap together, which is nice. And then this opens. Now, let me swing this way, actually, because they all slide out this way. Now, each one of these seasons has their own, it's almost like a record. And as you slide them out, it puts together the picture. So season 1 comes out, and it's got all the artwork. And all the artwork on this thing has to do with the first season of the show. It's got the discs in there. So many endless hours of bonus features, it's ridiculous. Now, I'll talk about these season by season as I pull them out. Season 1, I watched this back in 2011 when it came on, when it was on television, back when I had cable. And I got so addicted to it right from the get-go. The opening episode shows the White Walkers and the couple of the Night's Watchmen going into the Beyond the Wall, and you have no idea. Like, I didn't know that these were books yet. I didn't know anything. And it's just mysterious opening. And then it cuts to Winterfell, and you meet your leading cast, all the Starks. And this first episode it's just a build-up of all the characters. Ends with Jaime Lannister throwing Bran Stark out of the tower because he sees him sleeping with his sister. I'm not going to get into insane spoilers, obviously. Most people, if you're going to watch Game of Thrones, you probably have already. But this first season is the character building, the world building is so freaking good. I got obsessed with this. I bought all the books, I read them all. I was like just obsessed with this show. Absolutely crazy. I I was drawing out maps at one point and like trying to create the world and myself back in like 2011 and figure out where everything was laid out. It was insane. First season has in episode 9 it has a scene. I know everything like a lot. I've seen this show front to back around 10 times, maybe more. So I can almost word it when I'm watching it, word for word, every episode. But there's so many good scenes in this first episode. But obviously, it's what happens with Ned Stark that just moves this TV show into a new category for 2011. It just moves it into like a category of its own for just how good and dramatic the scenes are and what they're willing to do. Season 2 here. It's all beautiful again. Artwork from the show there. The back as well, but the bigger things on the front there. Just absolutely gorgeous. This is all the Battle of Blackwater Bay. Or Davos would say, the Battle of Blackwater. My horrible accents. Just freaking awesome. Oh my god, what can I even say? Season 2. To me, oh man, every episode of this show is a masterpiece. It's just like, there's so many moments where, like, little things, like in the later seasons when Jon and Ygritte, the girl he meets from beyond the wall, when they climb the wall and she sees the other side, the green world, for the first time in her life. It's just like so tear-jerking and good. Like unreal stuff. But season 2 introduces lots of characters. Melisandre comes in, Davos, Stannis. Massive cast. Joffrey becomes like, it's the beginning of where he just hits uber hatred levels, where he's just the biggest douche ever. I don't need to talk. I'm not going to tell too much about the show because there's so much to tell. I'd be here for like 3 hours talking about each season basically, because the walkthrough on a show this big would just be too much. We got season 3 here. Make sure I put them back in right here. This is season 3. Just some beautiful artwork there again. A little bit of stuff on the bottom, on the back. This is all like, this is Stannis here. Or sorry, I'm saying Stannis. This is Walder Frey. Anybody that's watched the show knows what he ends up doing. Just gorgeous artwork. They really freaking nailed it on this box set. It's insane. I wish companies would put out some more stuff like this. This is home media on a different level. This is easily the nicest box set in my entire collection. There's nothing else that even comes close. We got season 4 here. Just show these off. Just beautiful. Each one of these artworks, like I said, represent the season that it's representing, and it's, if you want, you can literally just stare at these and like see all the scenes, the major plot scenes from each season are illustrated on this artwork. It's fucking awesome. We got season 5 here. This is awesome as well. Take a peek at this myself. Yeah. The introduction of the Sparrow, the High Sparrow, and oh man, Jesus, just beautiful. Season 5. This is season 6. Absolutely gorgeous again. Oh yeah, there's some really freaking good White Walker scenes in this season. Just beautiful. Man, this is a must-own box set. Like, it is so hard for me to not recommend something like this. Even if you've never seen Game of Thrones, like, this piece is just flawless. We got here, this is season 7. Absolutely beautiful again. Just gorgeous stuff there. And I just love how it's all carved too, so that it creates the picture on the inside as you put them in. Like, just some actual, like, true thought went into making these fuckers. And this is the final season here. Really nice again. And then you got your bonus features stuff. This is basically just random stuff here, and on the back as well. Comes with all the bonus stuff. But oh my god, what is TV show? Did I say how much I love this yet? What do I even say? So, I think this is some of the best dragon work ever done in film. The use of them and just everything, the way they look. It looks like this is a $200 million budget on some of these episodes. It's absolutely nuts. Jon Snow, his character, like, I know the final 2 seasons, they kind of shit the bed in a few things, and it's because George Martin books hadn't come out, so they had to start writing it themselves. And truthfully, on multiple watches, like when I first watched the finale on TV, it was like an event. And like we had like people gathered for this freaking thing. It was an event, the finale. And I did not like it the first time I watched it. I did not like how it finished. And upon like multiple viewings at this point, it has grown on me a lot, and I actually do love where all the characters finish. I only have a few minor complaints here and there. I wish Jaime and Cersei's story ended a little differently. I love who ends up on the throne. I love where all the characters end up going. Like, Jon Snow is like the absolute most perfect good guy to ever exist, basically. And he makes a really bad decision. His first bad guy decision in the final season. And which leaves me to think that maybe the only good guy, truly good person in this show is Tyrion Lannister. It really makes me think, like, he cares about people. He's always trying, even when he's in the shitty situations where he has to make horrendous decisions, he always tries to make it the decision that leads to the most people not dying. He is truly the best character in this show. He carries this TV show on his back. One of the greatest performances in cinema history, in my opinion, is Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister. He fucking nails some of the dramatic parts. He gives a speech when he's on trial in the one season where it's like just tear-jerkingly good. Absolutely fucking nuts. Just great performances from every single cast member down the entire list. Peter Baelish's unreal character. There's so much hidden story in this as well, like just with what they're planning on, like who wants what in the world is really what the show represents, just real life, but in a fantasy setting, like all the different political sides and uh, why they're kind of all shit in the end. How nothing really works perfectly. Like Daenerys has a dream of freeing everybody and everyone's equal and there's no such thing as a class system, and she has this like socialism dream that anybody that lives in the real world knows isn't actually feasible. Like it's not real. Of course we all want that, but that it's not possible on this earth. Everyone's different. Every human's different. We all have different motivational levels. We all have different drive. We all have things we love differently from each other. So not everyone is going to be just as successful as the next person. It's so she fails, and it's really so deep, just such a freaking deep show that takes multiple viewings. And I know a lot of the people that I know that have watched this, they drop out in the first season because there's so many characters that they just can't even remember people's names. But it grows on you. Like after you get to like season 2, 3, 4, 5, you start to really like some of these characters. And then they do. This show has probably just an insane amount. I don't want to spoil, just in case there's someone that hasn't seen it. But it has so many crazy deaths that it's hard to even compare it to anything else. Like, I truly don't think nothing else touches this show. I think it's masterful on every level. Every single category excels insanely. The music, like everything is top notch. If there was a thing above a 5, this would be possibly the only thing in my entire home media collection that is above a 5. It's my favorite piece of media, filmmaking, ever released by anybody, and it will be for the rest of my life. Nothing else, I don't think, could ever possibly touch this. Game of Thrones is an absolute fucking masterpiece. It made me, honestly, before I watched Game of Thrones, I was very, like, run-of-the-mill opinion on everything. Like, just not a lot of thought went into how much I truly like filmmaking and everything about it. And then when I finished with Game of Thrones, it really like started to build me as a like my what I like and what I don't like criticizing and caring about what I'm watching and like understanding it more. It made me a smarter film watcher and film critic is what I'm trying to say. I could talk about Game of Thrones forever. My wife's favorite TV show of all time as well. Kayla was actually thinking about coming on and doing this episode with me, but it's been so chaotic and busy around here that we just couldn't do it. So, but honestly, what else is there to say other than what I've described it as? The greatest thing ever. Like, you can't really describe more than that. Now, I also have House of the Dragon. This is the spin-off TV show. This is only season 1 here. Beautiful 4K there. Comes with all the all kinds of special features that you don't get in streaming services. Just gorgeous as well. Like, it's one thing. Oh, I do need to mention that before I get on to House of the Dragon. Talk about that for a minute. In the later seasons of Game of Thrones, there's an episode that is very dark. And when I watched it on TV, and this is an extremely important episode, possibly the most important of the entire show. When I watched this on TV, me, like everyone else, this wasn't just a me problem, had an absolute problem seeing what was going on. Because the coloring was so dark and streaming is shit. So it couldn't actually pick up the real picture that they were giving you. So on the Blu-rays, it's fixed a little bit. You can actually see more of what's going on. And then on the 4Ks, it's completely fixed. On the 4K of that specific episode, they fixed the coloring issue and added some light to it so that you can actually see what's going on a bit, and which I appreciate. It's them recognizing that they kind of fucked up and fixing the problem, because it's so important of scenes, and to have a lot of what happens in that episode go down without people being able to truly see everything happening is not. I was not happy. It kind of irritated me. So glad to say, if you ever, like, obviously, buy this Game of Thrones box set. You will not regret it. It's the most beautiful thing you'll have in your collection. And it's, if Blu-ray's good enough for you, you don't need to get the 4K. But honestly, I recommend grabbing both of them. Like, just freaking have them both. Why not, right? Just freaking gorgeous. I have an entire Game of Thrones shelf. That's all my collectibles and all my toys and everything. But House of the Dragon here. This is... When I watched this on the streaming service, I didn't find the picture to be that great. And on a show like this, where you're highlighting the beauty of the world, the beauty of the dragons, the beauty of everything, I feel like this needs to be top notch. You can't fuck around with this. So watching it on 4K really upped how much I like the show. I think it needs to be seen on 4K. All the acting here is good. The casting's awesome. I've heard people say this is better than Game of Thrones, and holy shit, does that make me laugh. I'm like, okay, sure, I guess. Like, I don't understand how you can think this even touches. It's been one season, by the way. I don't understand how you think this can even touch it. I can name, like, certain episodes in Game of Thrones that are more dramatic, more well done, and just so intense that it's heart-racing intensity. This show has yet to deliver even one thing to even come close to that. So until this gives me something where I'm truly blown away, it's not on the same level. And I wasn't expecting it to be. But with that said, they do some fun stuff here. I've read the book that this is based on already. So I already know where all their characters end and who wins and who's going to be the final. But it's still exciting seeing it come to life. I'm really excited for the second season. Feels like the second season they could actually end this whole spin-off. And I know they have another spin-off coming too, which is going to be based on the first Aegon Targaryen that comes on the back of Balerion the Black Dread, the biggest dragon to ever exist in their world. So I'm excited as shit for that, because that's a cool one. That's when they basically conquer Westeros and take over. And Westeros is very barbarian-like at that time, so I'm excited to see, like, just what they do with it. I will, even if all these side shows never even come close to living up to the big beast here, I'm always going to be excited to see more stuff added to a world that I'm this obsessed with. This show, like, get a little personal here. I was suffering from severe anxiety problems back in 2011. Like, couldn't even leave my basement. That's how bad my agoraphobia was. I was struggling. So one of the hardest things I ever got through my whole life, actually. And it's because I didn't truly understand what was wrong with me at that time. So I hadn't been to doctors or nothing. And this show got me out of it. I started watching this, and I got so obsessed with it that the OCD helped me get better. So I also owe this show that, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, this is frickin' masterpiece, man. Like I said, I could talk about this all night, but I won't keep yous. I just appreciate you checking out my episode. Sorry I only had the 2 films here for this episode. It's been a busy couple of days. I haven't had time to do a deep watch on a bunch of stuff. I'm hoping to get back to that. But I'm going to let yous go. And if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, please just give it a chance. Watch it through. Like, just enjoy the beauty and the epicness, and just think about the world when you're watching it. Every time they show certain castles, just how perfect they tried to make it to the books and bring those books to life. Look for all the hidden messaging, like just in the opening episode alone, when they find the 5 dire wolves, the Starks do. There's so much hidden messaging there about things that are going to happen in the future. It's just, the dialogue is so well written and planned out. Like, they know where it's going, right? So they can plan it right from the beginning on giving you hints and just building. It's so awesome. But thank you again for joining me. I will be back at you in a couple days with some more goodies. I finally calmed down around here so I can get back to my movie watching and knock off a bunch of fun ones. Well, thank you. Talk to you soon.